Cool. We're live. Good evening, everybody. Hopefully you guys aren't tuckered out at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I do apologize. I set the live stream for an hour earlier than it was supposed to be. Just as a quick heads up, we will be talking about Megan the, with two E's, I believe, Stallion, prior to getting into the main topic. But welcome. I'll give you guys a few seconds to get in here. Welcome, Chica. Welcome. As we get some people in here, I'm actually going to play some memes that I like because I feel like it's important for us to start positively. I think the last live stream, we started with Reddit advice. I didn't realize Reddit advice is very ghetto. Reddit itself is very ghetto. So I'm like, do we really need niggatry at the beginning? No. So instead, I want to show you guys a meme. I want to show you guys what I think is funny, because the last video, I think I tried to share memes with you guys, but I couldn't find any. I couldn't find any. I was like, let me show you guys what I think is funny. I couldn't find anything. So instead I went to search Quora Ghetto 2. No, that's actually ghetto. Reddit's not ghetto compared to Quora, or however you pronounce it. That's actually ghetto. I've seen the stuff on Quora. And more than Quora, Yahoo Answers is the most ghetto thing I've ever been on. But more than Yahoo Answers, thank you for reminding me about Quora. I don't know why, but this just clicked something. So I'm moving soon, and I decided, instead of getting a big old U-Haul that I don't know how to drive, I'm going to sell all of my stuff. I'm selling everything. Let me know in the Discord if y'all want to buy some merch. It's definitely legitimate merch and not just items that I have lying around the house. Definitely, probably legitimate merch, probably not random items around my house. Let me know in the Discord. But I went on something called Facebook Marketplace. I didn't know Facebook had a marketplace, but eBay is just too complicated for me. eBay is what I hear everybody uses. Craigslist, people say, is for naughty stuff. And then they took the naughty stuff away and nobody uses it anymore, like some Tumblr, right? So I went to Facebook Marketplace. This is the most ghetto thing I've ever been on in my life. Who is out here selling and buying items on Facebook Marketplace? Well, me now, but I've never. Let me check my mic to make sure I have the right mic. I need y'all to hear what I'm saying. I've never been on Craigslist is for getting murdered. Discord, I dropped the Discord at the end of every live stream to the open one. So bam. Look at that, viewer retention. But welcome, Alicia, Cultural Misfit, Mara. Yes, Chica, Reddit is the slums. Welcome, Tasha. Welcome, Yasmin. Craigslist is for getting murdered. But yeah, Facebook Marketplace is the most ghetto thing. Let me read some of these messages. Hold up. Let me read one. Didn't they get rid of Yahoo Answers? I hope not. I don't use it, but I hope to go back someday for memories or something. What do those people say? Can I pick it up today, please? After they sent that, I said yes, and they blocked me. Was this a test? Was it a scam? Was I supposed to? I don't know what I was. That made me upset. Why did you ask me if you was just gonna block me? Just get it over with. Hold up. Is this still available? Yes. Are you interested? What if somebody sent me, hey, I'm a Zelle you. They sent me a Zelle to my email, but it's a fake Zelle from an obviously fake account. And they said, let me read what they said. No, let me explain it. I need to explain it because if I read it, I'm gonna get mad again. They said they sent me $80. I got the email, but I didn't get a notification from my bank. Zelle works directly through your bank. I go through a military bank because they treat me very well. And look, if they do car insurance and all that, and I promise you, if somebody hits my car and we both get out the car and exchange information, and I say I use USAA, they gonna break down and start crying. I have no idea what USAA is doing, but they're doing it well. They're doing it very well. So I didn't see any transactions in my bank account, even though I saw the email. So I looked at the email, and the email was ghetto. If you're gonna scam me, why are you putting this little effort into a scam? You know why? Because they scamming old people and they scamming ghetto people probably. And those people don't read. Ghetto people don't read, and old people can't read, even if they wanted to. I've seen them try and squint and look at. Sorry for my 35 plus audience. I do apologize if this sounds ageist, but I've seen y'all squint while y'all in. I've seen y'all squint while you're trying to read something, or hold up your glasses and look through them instead of putting them on your face. I have no idea what that's about. And ghetto people, I see y'all put y'all finger under the word when y'all read each word individually, synonym by synonym. Not synonym, but what is it called? Syllable by syllable. So that's how that is. That's who they think they're scamming. But to explain the scam, they pretend to send me $80. The email said I can't receive the $80 because I don't have a business account. Because I have a personal account, the threshold has been crossed and I can't receive this much money. I don't know what they're talking about because I have sent and received more than $80 on Zelle before. I have no idea what they're talking about. You got to be, never mind. You don't have to be stupid. You just have to be naive. I apologize to fall for it. The email says, for you to receive the $85, you have to message the person sending you money and ask them to send you $200. Then once they do that, we'll send you the $200 in the $80. That was weird. I didn't respond to it. I ain't click on it. I ain't open it. I've seen Cynthia G channel be hacked. I don't need mine to be hacked. Not that they're gonna get anything over here. It's only 15 people watching right now, so I don't know what they think they about the hack, but it ain't a lot. Even though all 15 of you mean a lot to me, I understand that the hackers might not see it that way as far as value and numbers. And advertisers certainly don't see it that way because they're not paying me nothing. But the person messaged me and said, oh, I'll send you the $200 and you can just refund me. I can trust you to refund me, right? Y'all, I'm on Facebook Marketplace. Ain't nobody on Facebook Marketplace about to send me $200 and trust me to send it back to them after the transaction is completed. He was probably going to send that fake email, and I was going to go to the real Zelle and send him $200 when he ain't send me nothing and lose my money. Hopefully y'all understood that. Now I can play my meme. Sorry, that took a lot longer to explain than I thought it would. But welcome, Stellester. I have no idea how to pronounce that, but welcome, Marcus. Marcus is cooking us up something, and I'll show you guys once he finishes it, because it looked very nice. And I will point out that Cheeky Banter or whoever, the Men's and the Manosphere were the first people to give us our donation, and now Marcus, who I believe is also a man, is going to be the first person to do this surprise, but I don't want to expose the surprise, so I want to point that out. If we're in a competition, y'all are losing, ladies. But it's fine. Welcome, Georgia Mud Fudge. What am I selling? I'm selling my bed. I'm selling anything that is not nailed down, even the carpet. I'm selling it all. I'm selling everything. I did the math. The carpet is worth a certain amount of money, but you have to pay your deposit if anything's wrong with the apartment. So if they come in and they see that there's no carpet in here and I took it up, I have to pay like $350, but I can get $750 from selling the carpet. So overall, I made the what's it called? Profit. Yes, big brain. Old people don't read and ghetto people can't read. No, I think it's the opposite way around. I think old people can't read due to their eyesight, and I think ghetto people don't read. Maybe they can't read. Maybe it is the other way around. Now that I say it out loud. Boy, by 35 plus. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. 35 plus. I believe once your knees start. No, come on now. Let's not be. I don't think there's anything wrong with being old, but let's not lie. Welcome, Just Brandy. Petty showing his trust issues. Just do it. Yeah, like come on, do an open panel. We're gonna do an open panel today. We're gonna try to keep this under 2 hours. We don't have a lot to talk about. So we want to start off with some memes today. We're gonna start off with some memes. This is what I find funny. Hopefully, you guys understand why. I have no idea. This is like the funniest thing I've seen all week. I have no idea why I find this so funny. I can't explain it. Hopefully y'all understand. Let's go to article piece of evidence number 2. We're building a case and I'm sharing the evidence with you guys. I want you guys to tell me something about myself because this is what I find funny.
Get your ass out of here. If you got license, you something.
I mean, I just want to fish, ma'am.
Oh no, hell, you can't fish. You don't know how to fish. You don't even wear the right kind of clothes. You got damn stupid shoes on anyway. Where'd you get them ugly britches? You asshole. Get your ass out of here. If you got license, you something.
I mean, I just want to fish, ma'am.
Oh no, hell, you can't fish. You don't know how to fish. You don't even wear the right kind of clothes. You got damn stupid shoes on anyway. Where'd you get them ugly britches? You asshole.
I'm like, why she came out with it so aggressively? Don't get it twisted. This is not a Karen. This is a Karina. 5 roasts in under 10 seconds. Granny got bars. The start of a beautiful friendship. She's too old to be a Karen. That's a Susan. That is a Susan. This is the Karen we deserve. Look, if Karens were like this, I promise you I wouldn't even be mad. Old people are mean. I allow exceptions if they're old and funny. Hello, the other MJ. Welcome. Now we can get through the last piece of evidence. This is not a meme. This is just something I found. Let's watch it together. Oh, this is actually related to the topic because this is about a work husband, which I hear is not popular these days. It's not a popular concept. Let's see what's going on here.
What you like?
Come on, try some. Open your mouth. Say ah. Come on. Why? Trust me. Yeah. Beans. That's what I'm saying. That's that crock pot type shit.
My man never cooked for me.
Why that don't surprise you?
Sorry, I paused so I could take notes. So she says her man never cooks for her. Okay.
Good for you. Where's this coming from? You don't try it. I'm probably going.
Y'all, I'm so frustrated right now. Hold up, let's do something real quick. Because I need to understand something. Real quick. So I'm doing the speed test. It's 314 MBps download in about 19, close to 20 MBps upload. It says my internet connection is very fast. It should be, your internet connection should be able to handle multiple devices streaming HD videos, video conferencing, and gaming at the same time. Why is my video buffering? This is what I'm looking at, by the way. Speed test or whatever it's called. Why is my video buffering? I don't know if y'all are buffering on y'all end, but I am. And I feel like I need to have a conversation with my internet provider now because did this speed test lie to me? Did y'all buy the speed test company? Anywho.
I made you this.
What you like?
Come on, try some. Open your mouth. Say ah. Come on. Why? Trust me. Yeah.
Beans.
Beans. That's what I'm saying. That's that crock pot type shit.
My man never cooked for me.
Why that don't surprise me?
Good for you. Where's this coming from? You know I'm trying. I'm trying really hard. You know.
It froze on the same part. I don't like that. Welcome, Kenny. Howdy. You're getting welcomes from the chat, even though we're beefing. So it's freezing on the part that I feel like we should. Oh,
What the heck? Stop playing with me.
Right. Okay.
okay. Well, I'm no longer having fun. I guess we could just get into our topic for today instead of looking at memes that I like. It's fine. La siento. Yep, whatever that means. I felt it. I felt it. Our first topic of the day is going to be Megan Thee Stallion. Let's hop straight into it. Actually, let me play my short thing and then we can get into it. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. Hopefully you guys know where that's from. So, why are we talking about Megan Thee Stallion? Well, we actually weren't going to talk about Megan Thee Stallion at all. We were just going to talk about relationships and when is the right time to leave relationships, which we will talk about later in this stream. But I unfortunately witnessed niggatry in my Facebook news feed. Yes, I use Facebook. I don't think it's an old people app. I think it's completely reasonable. My bad. I don't have to defend myself. No one has attacked me. I don't know why I just started defending myself. I apologize. But yes, I do still use Facebook. And what I noticed on Facebook is something that I find quite interesting regarding the Megan Thee Stallion situation. And it's something that I've seen a lot. But this time I stopped to read. Generally, I don't. I usually just scroll on past it because like I'm completely uninterested in the type of discourse that I see about this case and about these two people, one of whom shot somebody and one of whom got shot. Because I feel like in my mind, I don't know that there's a conversation to be had in my mind. In my mind, I'm like, okay, the person who got shot, they go to jail. The person who got shot, they get justice, and the person who shot them goes to jail. And, hopefully the criminal justice system does what it does. Welcome, wake up, make up, slay. But apparently there's a lot more conversation to be had. So let's look at exactly what I looked at. And let's kind of just discuss it together because I started theorizing in a way that I'm not qualified to do. So now we can all theorize together if there are some official theorists in the comments. So here's the original post. Let me take a sip of my unidentified drink. In case you guys can't see, let me see if I can make it bigger. I'll read it out loud just in case you guys can't see. That's too big. It got blurry. The original poster says, Megan Thee Stallion says she has no mercy for Tory Lanez and wants his sentence to be a message for all women. Exclamation point. I'm not about to read these. What does he looks challenged mean? What we're not going to do is insult the disabled community. That's not what we're going to do today. That's not what we're going to do today. Because I've never seen a challenged person who looks like that. I don't know what challenged means, but I don't feel like I've ever seen a challenged person who looks like that. I'm not going to insult challenged people like that. And what I mean is what I mean. So, Megan Thee Stallion says she has no mercy for Tory Lanez and wants his sentence to be a message for all women. Exclamation point, exclamation point, eyes. A Facebook friend of mine, Facebook friend, we're not friends, guys, says, acting like this man ended her career or put her on her deathbed. Now, I generally scroll past stuff like this, but this is on Facebook. So the only thing I see on Facebook, I feel like are celebrities. I don't know if they're paying to be in my news feed or how that works. That's between Mark Zuckerberg and them and the algorithm in my friends group, right? So it's not like TikTok or I guess Reddit, where it's just a bunch of random ghetto stuff all over the place from anybody and you're exposed to it. Right on TikTok, if I put a video out, I'm in your living room, I'm at your front door. If I put something out on Facebook, I put it out into my own home. I have to add you, invite you into my home to see it. So that's why I stopped here, because I've invited someone in my home and they invited me into theirs because we're friends on Facebook. And that is why I saw this on Facebook. That's the only reason I paused to look at and read this. I was confused that someone who is in my home, because I opened this up on my couch, y'all. This was in my home. I was disgusted. Anyway, I was just shocked that someone on my friends list said, acting like this man ended her career or put her on her deathbed. So just to kind of speculate, I didn't ask questions. I didn't message him. I didn't go in his comments and start arguing. I just hypothesized. And what I feel, excuse me, not hypothesize, I just did some guessing. And I guess what he's saying is we're overreacting because she's not dying. I feel like that's what his message meant. I don't know how else to interpret acting like this man ended her career or put her on her deathbed. Now, unfortunately, I'm a person who clicks on and reads comments because I'm messy. I'm messy. I like being in the mess. And the mess is always in the comments. Let's be honest. It's always in the comments. People are still saying Jay-Z orchestrated it. Yep. People are still saying that. Let's say he had put her on her deathbed. People would find a way to excuse his behavior. I believe that too. I didn't think about that, but I believe that too. What are you sipping on, Petty? Unidentified liquid. It is red. It is red. That's basically what my bro said. I completely dragged him. Oh, I wanted to talk about this later. This is an aside. We're going to get right back to Megan Thee Stallion. But I was on a video. It was a right-leaning video. And they were talking about this is why Beauty and the Beast is right-leaning based on the themes in the movie or something like that. And in the comment section, people were like, regular right-wing stuff, which is like, oh, women and Bella was a feminist and why was she reading? She thinks she's all that. Basically, they were trying to devalue anything that Bella does in the movie. And they were like, Gatson, the villain in the movie, he's actually like based and he's a Chad and he's really cool and she should have got with him and she's a loser because she didn't get with him or whatever. But also in the comments, there were people saying stuff like, let me pull up the screenshot because I think this ties into your comment a little bit, Chica. Not fully, but a little bit. Let's see what it says. I would like you to know this video. So this is someone who watched the video. They said this video caused one of the largest arguments in our friend group that we have ever had. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Someone replied to that and said, that sounds awesome. I would love to watch this with my liberal friends just to see how they would react. And then someone replied to that and said, one of my female friends didn't talk to me for 2 months after showing this video to her. And there were more and more comments like this where I guess these more right-leaning or conservative people or Republican, I'm not sure what they are, what they identify as outside of right-wing, but they're like, they fester arguments in their personal relationships. I guess this isn't related to what you said, Chica. I just got triggered. My bad. They fester arguments in their personal relationship and they kind of get off on it. And that is so weird because I've noticed that throughout some stuff, whether it's like men arguing with women or arguing with the LGBT or arguing with Black people, if they're white, like arguing with whatever marginalized community. And it feels like they want to purposefully make their friends feel inflamed. I have no idea why. Even on topics that you don't want to discuss or you have no interest in talking about, they will like insert themselves and purposefully bring up stuff that they know will make you heated to start arguing with you about it. So when you say that's basically what your bro said, not what I just said, but regarding Tory Lanez, and then you like lean into it and you start arguing with him, that's exactly what I'm thinking about. I feel like there is actually a secret plot that these people have, and I didn't realize it, but they want to they want to argue. I'm thinking about like Truth Social, where it's supposed to be this social media, I think, for mostly right-leaning people, where they can say what they want to say without worry about being censored or anything like that. And then it supposedly flops because they're more interested in arguing with people on Twitter or wherever. So that's something I'm interested in looking into a little more. And since we're on the topic of someone sucking you into an argument, let me go to our next screenshot. The comments are always disappointing. Stay out. Yep. Always. Always. That's what we're about to go to. Why was she reading? Yeah, they were upset that Belle was reading in the movie. They said, why does the movie paint her as if she's smart? All she did was read some children's books. She needs to humble herself, and this is feminist message. I was so confused. I don't know what Beauty and the Beast they watch. I have no idea. But we can look into that. Why are you friends with people you want to piss off? I'm not. I have no interest. My friends should be a safe place. I don't want to fight. We can agree to disagree or whatever. So let's go to the comments since we're talking about them so much. He baited someone. He baited a young lady. I blurred both their names out. He is in red. She's in green. His original comment was acting like this man ended her career or put her on her deathbed regarding Tory Lanez shooting Megan. And the first person to reply was a Black woman. And I just felt, I told y'all I didn't reply. I didn't message him. I didn't do anything but go to the comments because I'm uninterested in engaging in conversations like this, especially when I find out that people like this want you to fight with them about like things that should be basic morality, right? I shouldn't be fighting with someone about this person got too many years for shooting a Black woman. Like now I shouldn't be over here arguing with you about the value of a Black woman's life and what type of punitive action someone should face for threatening that. I shouldn't be arguing with you about that. I don't know why you want to bait me into an argument like that. I refuse. But unfortunately, this Black woman fell into that trap. Hello, Invincible. Welcome. I don't think I've seen Invincible in a while. Welcome. She says, so you don't think he was wrong? And the guy says, 10 years wrong? No. So let me make this way because I'm about to start taking notes so that we can respond to what I feel like needs to be responded to. This is the exercise I wanted to do together. So firstly, he feels like the sentence is too harsh. Okay. The sentence, if you are a man who shoots a Black woman, is too harsh. Seemingly because in his first comment, he says, he didn't end her career and he didn't put her on her deathbed. Okay. So 10 years is I killed someone or they're dying because of me or ended their career. Now, let me pause and say that feels like a weird. I personally, I'm not a legal expert. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. I don't know how many years people should get for different crimes. I don't know what factors we should consider. Well, I do somewhat know, but I'm not an expert in those fields. So I'm not going to pretend like I know the measure of time that a person should serve or what type of punishment they should have, whether or not they should get the death penalty. I'm not going to pretend that I know all of this stuff down to a definite number. But I do know that the idea of 10 years killing someone being the threshold for you to get a 10-year sentence is wild to me. That's wild to me. Because when I'm thinking of killing someone, I'm thinking of 40 years minimum. I think most people are. Or a life sentence, which I think is 40 years. So that's where we start. Let's go back to the screenshot. Sorry, I put it away on my screen. Okay. So the Black woman asked, how many years do you feel like he should have gotten? If Megan was your sister in a, oops, why was I about to censor the N-word like I am Black? If Megan was your sister and a nigga shot at her, you would have wanted him to get 10. Okay, let's write that down as well. I'm just wanting to make sure I capture everything that I feel like needs to be captured as far as what they're fighting about. So she wants him to place himself into Megan's shoes, in so many words, or to place your mom or your sister or a woman in your family, someone you know, right, and have a personal relationship with. Imagine that that's who was shot. Do you still feel the same? So let's write that down. I think it's really important that I take notes here. I didn't take notes earlier. I thought we could do it live. I should have just took the notes earlier so we wouldn't have to pause. But I did want to point out the idea. This is something that I feel like is common. The idea that when it comes to a woman being a victim of a violent crime, right? Whether it's SA or being unalived or DV or anything like that, the idea that a man can't have sympathy for just any random woman, but rather that he has to imagine it's someone in his immediate family, I feel like is concerning. I feel like that feels very concerning to me. It feels dehumanizing almost, like, because he seems to have no issue, in my opinion, based on everything he said in this one conversation, as well as other comments that I saw on his page. He doesn't seem to have an issue sympathizing with Tory or the person who shot her, but he has an issue sympathizing with the woman, even though she was shot, to the point where the only way, and it seems like the lady in green knows this, the Black woman knows this, she's like, the only way for me to get you to understand how bad this is for you to imagine that this is your mom or your sister. And that's really unfortunate to me. That's really unfortunate to me. That feels dehumanizing to anyone outside of your family. It feels dehumanizing even to your mom and your sister if the only way that you can sympathize with them is because they are in your immediate family. Hello, Heyo Haji, welcome. I didn't see you in the chat. I guess you just got here. Devaluing the life and safety of any women that aren't his immediate family, as if that's okay. Yeah, and I want to point out, I'm not going to be facetious here. I care about my family, I believe, personally, more than I care about random strangers. I'm not going to be so asinine as to say that this isn't something that people do generally. But the idea that I care about my family more than I care about random strangers doesn't mean that I can't sympathize with random strangers. That I see someone being assaulted on a train or something, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, it's not my sister, so I don't care, right? I'm going to be obviously sympathetic to that plight. But if it's my sister or someone in my immediate family, now I'm going to turn into John Wick or somebody and go crazy on this train and find strength that I didn't know I have. That's my personal belief. So the idea is that I see these people as human, but of course I have a closer relationship with my family, which is why I value them more. Not that I can't extend any sympathy to any woman unless she's in my immediate family. So I did want to point out that distinction between what I'm saying. I hate asking men to imagine if it was a daughter or sister. They don't care, plain and simple. They don't even take up for women in their family. This is why domestic assault is pushed under the rug. And I kind of agree, but I also kind of disagree with the part that they don't even take up for women in their family. For women in the family, maybe not. But when it comes to men and their daughters, I notice this type of launch in to defend. And this is like speculation. I don't have like a research behind me, so grain of salt. Just in my personal experience, I noticed that men will launch in to defend behavior that they kind of excuse when it comes to anyone else. Especially when it comes to your daughter, like dating, for example. Your daughter is coming of age, going through puberty, and starting to talk to men or boys at that point, and have boyfriends and starting to like, hey, can I go to a party with my friends and stuff like that? That is when it feels like men, specifically their dads, launch into defense mode and start really, really taking up. Well, I don't know what you mean by taking up for women in the family, but in my mind, I'm thinking of like protection, right? So this is when they start offering in a lot of that protection. Like, no, don't talk to this man because he's going to do that. I know how men are. This is what he's going to do with you. Don't go to that party. If you do go to that party, make sure you have my number. Call me if you like. That's when they launch into protection mode. For anybody outside of their daughter, I don't know. I don't know, but I don't think so. I want to know what his opinion would be if Tory shot him in the foot instead. Oh, I promise his opinion would change. I don't know it for certain, but I promise it would. How are men defending their daughters? They don't even want to have daughters. They get sad at pink gender reveals. I think I just answered. Yeah. So to go back to the screenshot, sorry for the aside. We leave off where she's trying to get him to sympathize. Number one, she asked him, how many years do you think he should have gotten? And I've seen some people say 5 years, but I've noticed that a lot of people are just saying that 10 years is too much. 10 years is too much. They don't seem to have an alternative. They just are saying that 10 years is too much. 10 years is too much. So she asks us, how much should he get? How much do you feel like he should have gotten? And then he asked, if Megan was your sister and somebody shot at her, you would have wanted him to get 10. I wouldn't want him to get 10. I would want him to be under the jail. More than that if it was mine. But I assume she's just saying you would have wanted him to get the maximum punishment possible, which seems to be, 13 or something in this case? So, yeah. He responds by saying, I'm not comparing anything to a female in my family, because if he was your brother, you wouldn't want him to get 10 years. Okay, so number one, he doesn't answer the question of how many years should he get. Number two, he rejects the sympathy plea. He rejects placing himself in a woman's shoes. He rejects empathizing with the women in his family who could be potential victims of this crime. He rejects all of that. And instead, he says, if Tory was your brother, you wouldn't want him to get 10 years. And this is where I decided that I wanted to speak about this on live, because this is where I felt like I started theorizing about why men generally, not just in this case, not just black men, not any certain type of men, just men generally, seem to sympathize with the abuser or the rapist or the assaulter or whoever when it comes to male female dynamics in the criminal justice system. It feels like men tend to overwhelmingly side with the man, who generally in these cases is the perpetrator. And I started theorizing because that felt like a weird stance to me. In my mind, when I look at the Megan Thee Stallion situation, right, I sympathize with the victim. I don't sympathize with the man. I don't sympathize with the woman. I sympathize with the victim. It's non-gendered. I don't think people generally lie about crime. I think anybody of any race, any demographic, gender, or whatever can be a victim of crime. I'm generally looking at the victim, what they experienced, and what type of justice they could get, before I look to the criminal to see what punishment it should be or whatever have you. And I feel like it's weird, but I'm realizing now that it feels like a lot of men do this, especially when it comes to the Megan Thee Stallion situation, where instead of looking at and sympathizing with the victim, they're unable to. They rejected the idea of even doing that in the first place. They reject the idea of trying to sympathize with the victim, understand how the victim feels, what they might be going through mentally or physically, or whatever have you. And instead, they look at the perpetrator and they put themselves in those shoes instead. And I'll talk about why a little bit later. But yeah, he says if he was your brother, you wouldn't want him to get 10 years. And the woman responds by saying, if my brother pointed a gun, attempting to shoot a female he was dating, obviously something is not right in his head. If the judge would have gave him 10, then so be it. You shouldn't point a gun at someone and shoot at them over a disagreement. That's crazy as hell. So let me see. My bad. These people I forgot I'm selling stuff. These people, my phone is blowing up on Facebook Marketplace. I thought I was popular or something, but no, they just want to buy this furniture or scam me or both. So this is what I found interesting. She doesn't reject his premise. She does put herself in them. Unlike him, she does put herself in those shoes. Instead of saying, I'm not about to imagine it's my brother, she does say, okay, if this was my brother, this is what I would do. I would want him to be punished because he just shot a woman. He just shot a black woman, who could be my sister, my aunt, or just a random black woman. She don't even have to be related to me, right? So that's what she says. What it sounds like is her principles, and this is interesting, her principles aren't based on whether or not it's a family member or not. She finds shooting someone in this manner that Tory did to Megan reprehensible, and she'll apply that to someone who is or is not her family member. She will apply that logic indiscriminately. This means that earlier in the conversation, when she says, imagine if Megan was your sister, she already understands that the man she's talking to is unable to sympathize with women unless it's someone in his immediate family. But as we know now, he won't even sympathize with the women in his immediate family. He will sympathize with the men, it seems like. So I thought that was interesting. That she does not reject his premise. She steps into his premise and calls him out. In my mind, this is a call out. If it was my brother, I'd want him to go to jail. Now what? Because he shot somebody over a disagreement or whatever have you. Now what? And the man finishes by saying, I don't know if there are any updates. This was like a day or two ago. I didn't go back to the post. I was uninterested in seeing anymore. He says, I hear you. He don't hear nobody. But I also heard it was a ricochet and she got hit in the foot. She wasn't put on life support. So, my bad, I'm typing. Taking notes, because I feel like this is important. Okay, so first, there seem to be two things happening. Number one, it feels like he's trying to undermine the severity of what happened. This woman was shot at. Y'all, if somebody points a gun at me, I think that is a major big deal. Regardless of if they pull a trigger or not, I think it's a big deal that someone points a gun at me. Why? Because if anyone who has a gun license, concealed carry permit, or anything like that knows, I can take that away now, I guess. But as you all may know, especially if you've taken like any gun class ever, is that you shouldn't be pointing a gun at anything you're not ready to destroy. You shouldn't be pointing a gun at anything you're not ready to destroy. Wow, because she didn't die, but if she did, y'all would still blame her. I believe that too. I don't believe it will matter if she died. I really don't. They would still be saying the same thing. Does he really need 10 years? It was just an accident. The gunpowder was on Kelsey's hand. Wild. It's wild, the type of stuff I've seen. And I don't feel like jumping in the comments to correct anything. I don't feel like combating or fighting within it. Like, I don't. I see what they said. I can add them to the watch list or whatever have you, and we can get some content out of them. I don't feel like engaging in a conversation with somebody like that. But what you guys know, especially if you have a firearm, if you've ever been in the military or had any class, is that you shouldn't be pointing a gun at anybody who you weren't prepared to destroy or trying to destroy, or you're not ready to destroy them. So I can only assume that Tory's intentions when he's pointing a gun at somebody is to destroy them, right? Or it would be unaliving in the case of a human. However, obviously a gun can destroy things that aren't human, and you don't kill like plywood. So if you shot plywood, it would be destroyed, not killed. So that's my understanding of firearms based on my own training, as well as what I hear people who are in the field or in the military say about their own firearm training. You shouldn't be pointing a gun at anything you're not ready to destroy. So in my mind, this needs to be like an attempted murder, negligent attempt murder. I don't know what the official charge is, but I need to assume that this man could have killed somebody but didn't. That's what I need to assume. Not like he was arguing with somebody and tried to scare them or fire a warning shot. That's not how I'm looking at anything when somebody points a gun at somebody else. I'm assuming you want to unalive this person. There ain't another reason for you to point this gun at somebody. And if you don't want to unalive them, you understand that what you're pointing at them could. So you're threatening to unalive them. Anyway, anywho. So the first part is trying to undermine what happened. Oh, it's not a big deal. It was just a ricochet. All it did was scratch her foot a little. It just grazed her. It didn't really hurt anybody, right? And then the second part is she didn't die, which is kind of along the same line of thinking as it's not that bad. And again, I hate that I have to ask people to do this, but the idea of somebody in my family, in your family, being shot and quote unquote grazed, and we just like, oh, okay, it was just a little graze. Maybe 1 or 2 years will be fine. We don't need 10 years. That's way too much. I'm looking at 40 still. I'm looking at 40 if I don't get my hands on them myself. So we go back to my hypothesis, right? Where I think that men, in this case, black men, since Tory is a black man, and I have not seen the type of discourse among white men, white women about Tory Lanez that I've seen among black men and black women. So I'm gonna leave that community out of this, and I'm going to speak directly to and about black men. I feel like black men, and take this with a grain of salt, I'm not a scientist or a researcher. I feel like they see themselves in Tory. I feel like in the way that I look at the victim and put myself in the victim's shoes, they put themselves in the perpetrator's shoes, not just about this situation, about stuff generally, but we're talking about Tory. And this is why they want to vehemently defend him, right? So when the man in that picture looks at Tory Lanez, I think he sees himself, right? He says to himself, what if this were me who just shot a black woman, right? What would I want to happen to me? I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to get 10 years. I think we can just give him a slap on the... That's what I feel like might happen. There is this type of self-preservation that's going on mentally, because when you put yourself in those shoes, you're going to be selfish about yourself. Don't nobody want to go to jail, even if they did do it. So once they do that, they offer that type of sympathy that he can't give to Megan to... Maybe he meant to destroy but forgot his aim sucks. Could be. He could have thought he was a few inches taller, but he wasn't. He could have, in my mind, Tory Lanez... Hold up, I'm sorry. This is off track. In my mind, Tory Lanez, he didn't point the gun at the ground. He held the gun straight out in front of his body, but he's so short that the bullet went straight forward into her foot. I believe that is where he is when he stands up fully down there, and that's why the bullet hit that spot. I believe he wanted it to hit her chest, but he forgot they're not the same height. That's what I think happened, and I believe that legitimately. But we don't have to talk about that anymore. That's an aside. The fact that he told her to dance. Yeah, I'm gonna pose a scenario for you guys, and then we're gonna get back to the placing themselves in their shoes. I want to understand, because I don't fully understand it. I want to understand, in the black community, is there a type of conditioning where... I believe there's a type of conditioning where we're exposed to violence a lot in the media, right? And I'm not talking about violence in the neighborhood. That's a different story, which we'll get to. But rather, when we look at Ahmaud Arbery, for example, who's unalived by some white men, or Breonna Taylor, who's unalived in her bed, supposedly in her sleep, or even George Floyd, right, who's unalived by a police officer. That's the type of exposure I'm thinking about in the black community, right? Violence that seems racially motivated, or police brutality, etc., right? Those types of crimes. And when we look at crimes like this, the sentiment from the community seems to be towards this crime that I feel like we might even be desensitized towards a little bit. It seems to be, we need to throw these perpetrators under the jail, right? Not just the police officers, because I understand police officers, we tend to hold to a higher standard than civilians, but also the civilians, right, who unalive Ahmaud Arbery, or any, what was his name? Trayvon Martin, the guy who unalive him, right? Even just citizens, we seem to hold to a standard where if they unalive a black person, especially in a way that's racially motivated or done through police brutality, the sentiment seems to be, we want these people under the jail. Now, you can say these people were unalived, and obviously if you unalive somebody, that should be a bigger punishment, and Megan wasn't unalived. I would agree with you. I think generally we all agree. However, even when we look at someone like Rodney King, who wasn't unalived by the police, just roughed up. And when I say roughed up, I understand, I mean something much more brutal, but YouTube friendly, right? But he survives this brutal beating, and the police officers face no charges. Well, they face charges, but they are acquitted of all the charges, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure if they were retrialed. I can look into it. But they're acquitted of all the charges and they're free to go. And then we enter this like 5 to 7 day, don't remember how long, LA riots. And I'm going to read an excerpt now from Wikipedia page around Rodney King, if you guys don't know who that is. But within hours of the acquittals, the 1992 LA riots began. Lasting 6 days, African Americans were outraged by the verdicts and began rioting in the streets along with Latino communities. By the time law enforcement, the California Army National Guard, the United States Army, and the United States Marine Corps restored order, the riots had resulted in 63 deaths, 2,383 injuries, more than 7,000 fires, damage to 3,100 businesses, and nearly $1 billion in financial losses. Smaller riots occurred in other U.S. cities such as San Francisco, Las Vegas, Seattle, and as far east as Atlanta and New York City. A civil disturbance occurred on Yonge Street in Toronto, Canada, when Canadians gathered to protest the acquittal in Los Angeles, as well as a local police killing of a Black man in Toronto 2 days prior. So when we have a situation like this, right, where usually a Black man, if we're talking about police brutality, sometimes Black women, even though they don't get the same type of coverage as the men do, it feels like our collective sentiment in the community, it feels like we're all on one accord. These people should be thrown under the jail. They should be punished to the fullest extent of the law, regardless of if they're law enforcement or not. They should be punished to the fullest extent of the law. We're not looking at, oh, he just roughed up the guy a little bit. He didn't kill him. So as long as they just roughed him up, do we really need to give him 10 years? We don't have that same type of sentiment, right, that I feel like is going on with Megan Thee Stallion. The idea that someone is like, all it did was graze her, as someone shoots her in the foot and yells out, "Dance, B-word, dance." The idea of some police officer yelling out, I hate to do whataboutisms, but we're going to, sorry. The idea of a police officer shooting some Black man in the foot and yelling, "Dance, monkey, dance," and everybody's like, well, yes, what he did was wrong, but we don't really know if it happened. There was no body cam, so it's kind of he said, she said. And well, okay, 10 years is too much. Like, does he really, he learned his lesson, nobody died here? We would all agree that that's ludicrous, right? If I said something like that, I feel like people would call me a coon or something like that, or a white worshiper or something like that, because we understand that the idea of someone pointing a gun at you, shooting you while you're unarmed, and then yelling out "dance, dance," and yelling out explicitives or hate language or something like that is wild. And it don't feel like 10 years wild. In my mind, I'm like, this 20 or more, I don't know, 20 or more. But okay, it's a great comparison. Good. I didn't lose you guys. Good. I thought maybe this is going a little too far. But that's kind of, it's kind of a weird dynamic when we see Black men in this position, or Black people, right, fighting against white supremacy or whatever have you. It feels like we're able to be on one accord, and we're able to unanimously agree that the people who perpetrate these types of crimes should be punished to the fullest extent of the law. But when it comes to Black men versus Black women, which is a very real dynamic in the community, and I wouldn't call it a versus, I wouldn't call it a war, because we know how the stats look, and we know that one side is doing the graping and the SA and the DV and the violence and the unaliving towards the other, and the other isn't doing it back. So genocide or whatever y'all want to call it. When we look at this type of dynamic in the community, it doesn't feel like we're able to apply the same standard that we are outside. And I feel like that's a problem for me. Because what I'm, in my mind, what I'm seeing is people who, if a police officer shoot an unarmed man in the back, they're going to be like, we shouldn't punish the police officer too harshly. We need to also look at what the man was doing and what the police officer could have felt threatened. Or, like, in my mind, that's what I'm hearing. And it sounds really weird to hear this type of sentiment weaponized against Black women, specifically from Black men. That's a really weird dynamic for me to see. But I'm just theorizing, right? And I have no degree that gives me any sort of credence there. So please take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. We can also look at the fact that Tory has a history of violence, right? He shows no likelihood to rehabilitate. He's carrying an illegal firearm at the time of the shooting. Violence, not just towards women, but towards, I believe, other men as well. So it's part of the justice system is, what is the likelihood of this person to reoffend? What is the likelihood of this person to get better? What is the likelihood of this person to be a functioning member of our society in the future? And the judges, I believe, tend to be less lenient when you have a history of doing something over and over and over again. I'm not sure if the 3-strike rule is still something that's in effect or if that's been like done away with. I think that was about drug charges specifically. But if you smoke crack or something and go to prison for a couple of years and get out, you go to prison for a couple of years and get out. If you are doing it over and over and over again, and then maybe you start getting violent with people, maybe you start stealing so that you can feed your crack addiction, right? Once you create like a pattern throughout your life and you're arrested more and more and you build up more and more of a rap sheet, I believe, I could be wrong, I'm not a legal expert, I believe the judge tends to give you less leniency because those are factors that are considered. So when we're looking at someone like Tory Lanez and people are saying 10 years is too long of a sentence because all he did was graze someone's foot. In my mind, this is like, y'all know those stories about a woman went and got a restraining order because he's getting violent or he's getting loud, but the police are taking so long to do something about it, and then he ends up unaliving her. That's what I feel like is going on here. It feels like we want to be all the way at the extreme before we punish someone, when in my mind, we're already at an extreme because he's shown a history of doing stuff like this. He hasn't shown any likelihood to rehabilitate. He hasn't really shown any sympathy for what he's done. He keeps fighting it over and over again. He hasn't taken any accountability. And it doesn't feel like he's tried to do better. So I don't see what grace am I giving him? What grace am I giving to someone who immediately after shooting you launches into this campaign of misinformation and trying to like throw people off? And there wasn't even any gunpowder on his hand. There was, if y'all read the police report or if y'all go and read the articles that covered it, or Kelsey probably shot the gun. She didn't. According to, I believe, her initial statements. I'm not sure if she actually testified at the trial. And then Tory Lanez's refusal to actually say anything that happened at his own trial. What am I providing sympathy for? What am I providing a lenient sentence for? That doesn't make sense to me. So to move past that and kind of go back to men sympathizing with men who tend to be the perpetrators of crime like that, I'm thinking of someone like Brock Turner. I didn't fully flesh out this theory, so we won't go into it too much. But I'm thinking of someone like Brock Turner. We're going to move from Tory Lanez and into Brock Turner, which is a situation that I feel like is kind of similar. Not the action that happened. If you guys don't know who Brock Turner is, he is a young man who he faced a essay case because he was convicted of essaying an unconscious woman on a college campus. If you guys remember, this story was really big. I think maybe 2016, 2017, 18. I don't remember when this blew up, but when it happened, it was like a subject of large discourse everywhere that I could see. So, but to kind of summarize, I believe the allegations were that a woman was drunk and she passed out behind a dumpster. He went behind the dumpster and essayed her while she was unconscious. He was sentenced to 6 months in county jail and probation, a punishment that is significantly, let me put this on screen because I'm reading from an article. A punishment that is significantly less severe than the minimum prison time of 2 years prescribed by state law for his felony offenses. So the reason I bring this up, and I won't go into it too much, but I think this is going to be the beginning of a theory that I'm trying to flesh out. But the reason that he got such a lenient sentence, according to the judge, is because the judge says he had his whole life ahead of him and he's young. I think he's on the swim team and I don't want to ruin his future. It feels like the judge almost ignores the victim. It feels like the judge almost ignores the victim and instead places, the judge apologized, or the young man. I don't care if either of them apologize, to be honest. I don't care. Because I feel like in my mind, their apology is fake. You're not apologizing because he was drunk and, okay, I think you're making fun of what they were saying. he was drunk and he didn't know. Well, he was convicted, so I don't know what kind of drinking y'all do. I've been blackout drunk before. I've never just gone behind a dumpster and start essaying somebody. I've never done. I don't know what type of drinking that is. Um, I don't know what type of drinking that is. I have no idea what type of drinking that is. That sounds like an excuse to me. That sounds like an excuse. That sounds like an excuse. Sorry, very serious situation. I sing when I'm nervous. I apologize. But the judge faced a lot of scrutiny. I think the judge like was removed from the bench or something like that, and he was like, "I'm scared to go to work. I have to go into the back door in my own courtroom." And it's like, why are you scared? Because the entire public, not the entire public, a lot of women are upset at you because not nervous, my bad, anxious. Sorry, anxiety, nervousness, and uncomfortableness. I think that's what my therapist said. So again, it feels like the judge is, my bad, he was upset because a lot of women were getting mad at him and he's getting some angry emails. But yeah, let's see a statement here. He has made women at Stanford and across California less safe, says Dauber, who attended the sentencing hearing and is also a family friend of the 23-year-old victim. The judge bent over backwards in order to make an exception. And the message to women and students is, you're on your own. And the message to potential perpetrators is, I've got your back. And that's kind of what it feels like. That's kind of what the public sentiment was. That's probably how the boy who was convicted feels. That's probably how the victim feels. That's how I feel. I feel weird. Why is the judge siding with the perpetrator in this case? I'm literally at a loss for words. And I was at a loss for words when this came out, but I'm at a loss for words now too, because even at the height of, even at the pinnacle of, right, of what is it called? I forgot the name. I forgot the word I'm looking for, but even at the height of, help me, somebody in the comments, help me, please. Is the word expectations. We expect a lot from a judge, right? I used the word earlier when we were talking about police and how we expect more from the police than we do from a civilian. We expect a lot from a judge. You have a lot of power. You have a lot of responsibility. And it feels like you're being irresponsible. It feels like you're looking at a man, and instead of looking at this situation holistically, first placing yourself in the shoes of the victim, how they might feel, what type of damage might be done to them physically, mentally, how long they might have to recover from that damage physically, mentally, emotionally, and applying justice in a way that feels fair. But instead of doing that, you're like, this boy has his whole life ahead of him. It's like you're putting yourself in his shoes. What if I was him and I assaulted someone behind a dumpster? I wouldn't want my whole life to be gone just because of a quote unquote mistake, right? And that feels extremely unusual to me. That feels especially gross coming from a judge who we're expecting to apply justice fairly, who we're expecting to get justice for the victim. We're expecting some justice from the justice system, but instead he wants to put himself in the shoes of a rapist because I don't know, maybe he sees himself in him. I have no idea. But that's going to be the theory that I'm looking into expanding this year, hopefully before the end of the year, because I'm pretty sure that's probably already been talked about, right, or expanded. So hopefully it's not too hard. But I feel like men, when they look at cases like this, instead of looking at the case from the shoes of the victim, or even just holistically in a way that feels fair, they immediately place themselves into the shoes of the perpetrator, maybe because they've done similar things, maybe because they want to do similar things and they think that what was done is okay and they sympathize with him in that way, maybe because they have family members who have done those things and they want to protect those family members and by extension him. Or I don't know, maybe there's a brotherhood where men are able to place themselves in each other's shoes in a way where they're unable to do for women who are typically the victim in cases like this. I have no idea, but that's what I'm looking to expand in the future. And that's what I was feeling. That's why we looked at the Megan Thee Stallion situation regarding the man who was commenting on my news feed that this punishment is way too harsh. So that's the Megan Thee Stallion thing. We're right at 1 hour. Awesome. You know what? That means I can open the panel before we move on to the next topic. if anybody wants to come up and say anything about anything that I just said, whether it's Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez, or Brock Turner, or just the idea of men sympathizing with perpetrators as opposed to the victim, feel free to come up as I get into the next part of what we're going to go into. And what we're going to go into is, when should you fight for your relationship versus giving up on it? That's what I want to go into, because I saw a video that left me speechless, and it's been a while. It's been a while. If you have compassion for a rapist, I have every right to assume you've done it as well or want to. And what I want to tie into my theory is the fact that we looked at the study called, let me see. Let's see. Denying RAPE, but endorsing forceful intercourse. That's the name of the study. And I'm definitely planning to tie that into my theory, because what we learned is men, and women to a degree as well, will actually SA women. And when the surveyors asked them, they would describe what they do to women when it comes to sexual encounter. And they would literally describe SA. They would describe RAPE, and they would describe it in full detail. Yes, I force her to do this, and I make her do this. Let's see. Indeed, some men will endorse items asking whether they have used force to obtain intercourse, but will deny having RAPE'd a woman. And this was research on individuals endorsing behaviorally descriptive items versus a labeling item. So they're doing it, but they don't call it that. So when it comes to the idea that these people are doing it, so these men are like raping people, and they are SAing people. They just don't label themselves as assaulters. They don't label themselves as rapists. So the idea that Tory Lanez or Brock Turner does something, and these men sympathize with him because they've done those things before. They just don't want to call him, just because he had sex with an unconscious woman behind a dumpster, that doesn't mean he's a rapist. That must be their mindset. Surely there's a way to tie this in. Surely there's a way to tie this in, because the idea that men are actually doing this stuff but don't want to call it out as what it is, or don't want to believe, that's delusion to me. That's delusion to me. Have you ever R'd someone? No, never. Have you ever forced someone to have intercourse with you? Yeah. I don't understand how you can answer these two questions back to back and not understand what you're saying. I really don't understand it. And that's part of why I believe it's really easy for men to sympathize when it comes to someone who's a man who is doing some weird stuff to a woman. Hello, cultural misfit. Sorry, I didn't see you back there. Welcome. What say you to anything? How's your day? You're on mute if you're talking. My drink got hot really fast. I don't know why. It was just ice cold. My drink got hot really fast. I don't know why. I think I'm on in your background. Okay, that was cultural misfit, everybody. Thank you. No, I'm just playing. But did you want to say anything on anything that's been said so far? Going once, going twice. You're still on mute. Okay, I'll put you in the back just in case you want to come back up. You can put a message in the private chat whenever you're ready. But we can go to our next thing. So I saw something on TikTok. Oh, okay. Fixing echo. Let me share this. I've never just had my mouth open, just hang open for so long. Are you ready, cultural, or are we going to go into the next topic first? You're still
okay. I think I'm ready. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Ooh, that's probably too loud. Okay, I'll turn myself down.
Turned down for what?
Turned down for what?
Oh, goodness.
No, yeah, this whole conversation for
You turned down too much. I can't hear it at all. She turned it all the way down. All the way down. Men who call themselves a good guy or high value are not. I'm starting to be convinced. I was convinced at the beginning. I'm a good guy. I'm a nice guy. I'm such a nice. Where's my banner? Hold up. It's been so long. It's been so long. Where is it? I'm such a nice guy. But these girls only want bad boys. They don't want a nice guy like me. Women only want assholes. Sorry. Cultural, you were saying?
wait, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, because like, is it super, super low to where it's stressful?
Nope, it's fine.
Okay. No, yeah, I was saying the whole conversation really frustrates me. Like I put in the chat that it seems like Tory defenders are just like, but did you die though? Like, you remember those memes where it'll say like, but did you die though? Or like
Yep.
sometimes when I'm driving in the car with my sister and she's gripping on to like the door, she's like, oh my God, you just drive so wild. Or like when I'm driving with my mama and I'll be like, did you die though?
Mm.
Yeah, but like in real life, if I shoot at someone and they get shot, but did you die though? That mentality does not apply, thank God, to our justice system. So I don't, the 10 years is it's too much. So do they not know that you can get more for driving drunk and like hurting someone? And obviously, if you're driving under the influence, you didn't mean to do that, but you still did it.
Yeah,
So
like
what's
if
so confusing?
the idea of going to court and you got shot and the judge is like, yeah, but you didn't die. So that's wild. That's a wild idea to me. But also, what you mentioned with the drunk driver, yes, if a drunk driver hit and kill someone versus just driving drunk, obviously they'll receive a harsher sentence if they actually hit someone. But driving drunk itself isn't something that we should like diminish the severity of what is going on here and the impact that could happen just based off of you doing this thing, even if the worst outcome didn't happen. So I agree with you there.
Someone said Tori hacked my mic. Wait,
Mhm.
who was that? Was that Alicia?
Yeah, we thought they got you. We thought they got you.
The spirit of Tori almost got me.
I have a male friend who would say girls only want bad boys. Now he want the bad boys too. Oof. Oof. I almost put you in timeout. But thank you, cultural. I appreciate that. Yasmin, welcome.
Hey, everyone.
Howdy. Good evening. What say you on anything we've talked about today?
Yeah, I think the comment when he said, well, did she die though? I was shocked that he said that because I remember I got into an argument with a boy and he said, well, black men in the black community, we don't condone this behavior. And I said, y'all do condone it and y'all make excuses for it and y'all justify the behavior, especially like when another black man kills another black person. I see a lot of them go on like these police sites and say, free him, free him, free him. It's like you're condoning the behavior.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't think about this, not with the police killing, even though I've seen that too. I forgot his name. I think Jason Black or somebody like that. But yeah, like the conservative, what's his name? Jesse Lee Peterson, something
Yeah,
like that. He was one of the main ones. But also the young man who was voguing at a gas station. I don't know what voguing is. I think it's dancing.
O'Shea, yeah, Vogan is a part of ballroom. It's like it was created by like black queer people. It's just dancing.
So supposedly he's dancing, and there are a bunch of men who come up and they don't like that he's dancing, so they unalive him. And I was really surprised to go on the news story, like the Fox News and CSBN or whatever these are called, and to see in the comments that there are other men who are like, good. He shouldn't be doing that in this community. Or if you've been on Themis' channel, I think his name is Jamie, came up and he's like, if you did that in my community, we would do what we need to do. And not only do they point out what happens in the community, but like you say, they do condone it, and they go outside of the community to the news channels or to other people's channels, and they condone it over there too, which not only is embarrassing, but it's like disgusting. It's kind of disgusting. See.
Oh, and by the way, when you were talking about that guy, I guess it was a white guy that raped another girl. That was literally a Law and Order episode, and they were calling the girl trash behind the dumpster. So I thought you were joking about it when you first started talking about it. I was like, oh, he's serious. It's a real case.
Yeah. The perpetrator's name is Brock Turner. I want to always put that out there because I feel like people forgot. I didn't forget. I feel like we should all remember.
Well, they say he's going by his middle name now, Alan. So he's been keeping low key, but now he's been going by Alan Turner, and he has really long hair now.
Thank you for letting us know that. It's really important for us to keep up to date on people's names and make sure we're addressing them correctly. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a case on Law and Order. Well, it was an episode on Law and Order, and at the end, the guy was crying, and it was a black girl. She was a judge, and she was like, "Well, since you showed remorse, I'm going to let you off with a warning." And since the girl, I'm gonna find the episode of the case, and I'm gonna tell you.
Please do. Yeah, like if you find that, send it. Let me put my thingy across the screen. That didn't sound right. Let me put my email across the screen. Y'all can send clips there and stuff, because I actually want to see that. I don't know if they based it off of the real life situation or if it was made before or if they're completely unrelated. But I would be interested in seeing that. That sounds, I mean, it sounds as disgusting as the real thing. The judge being like, well, he's crying, so clearly he's sorry. Like, I don't care. I really don't care. They killed him for just being himself. Yes, like the idea of somebody just being secure in their masculinity. That's what I believe. When people see somebody secure in their masculinity, they get upset. So they resort to violence. Actually, we did talk about this, not only last week on the podcast, but in one of my videos called Rejection in the Male Ego, Why Do Men Insult Women Who reject them, right? Where we have the situation my friend told me about. She goes up to a gas station. She's pumping her gas. I have no idea why this is always the interaction, but I've heard this multiple times from multiple different people. A man pulls up. He gets out. He don't even pump his gas. He goes straight to the woman. Yasmin had to leave, but thank you. He goes straight to the woman, and he's like, something stupid. Damn, girl, you too pretty to be pumping your gas. Let me pump gas for you. Where your man at to pump your gas? And she'll be like, thank you for calling me pretty, but I have a man. And he immediately goes into violence, right? Whether it's physical violence or whether it's threats or whether it's just being verbally violent, right? Man, you stupid broad. Don't nobody, you ain't pretty, man. I was lying to you, right? Why is it that someone who's rejected immediately goes into violence? According to the research, they're insecure in their masculinity. And when they get rejected, they feel threatened. Or anytime that they feel like their masculinity is in threat or being questioned, they respond with violence. It especially said that men with more traditional views or more conservative views tend to do it a lot more. Men with more traditional or conservative views around masculinity tend to do it more. So that was really interesting to read. Like, I legitimately believe, I think Themis said something like this. Those men probably either A, are gay and are doing this performative masculinity to try to hide that fact because they're ashamed, because we're in the Black community where being gay is not cool, or they feel threatened in their masculinity to see someone who's not threatened in their masculinity, and they assert dominance in the only way they know how, which is through violence. So yeah, please send that episode if you can, Yasmin. Hey, Ohaji, welcome. You've been waiting a while. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Hey, Patty, can you hear me good?
I can hear you loud and clear.
It's so funny where you just went because that's exactly what I came up to talk about. It seems to be this thing that gets passed down from generation to generation that I had to have a talk with my nephew about, where they start in like elementary school. like pulling girls in the bushes that are just walking by unsuspecting, don't even know that they're back there in the bushes, just to grope on them. And you experience that at like 7. They'll grab you in the bushes, grope all over you, then let you go, and you have to just walk off and deal with those feelings. Then by the time they get to like middle school, I would say, they start doing this thing where it's like they're in a situation with a girl, is getting, she's trying to figure out a time to say stop. And when she does, it's this immediate, I'm going to put on this show of anger. I'm going to put on this show of attitude to basically bully you into saying yes because you're here by yourself with this boy and you don't know what he's about to do. And it just continues on into high school. The domestic violence rate, I don't know if it's called domestic violence because I guess you're kids and you're just dating in high school, but it's out of control. Like these boys are hitting girls and essaying girls as early as, like I said, middle school, high school. And I truly believe they're getting this from older men. I don't even think it's like just all these black men just have this, mental problem. They're wired wrong. I think they're literally passing it down. I had to have a talk with my nephew and say, hey, you're not giving the little girls attitude if they say no, they don't want to, keep making out or take it further to, sex. And he just kind of laughed and was like, no, no, no. I knew he was lying.
So,
You know what I mean?
so you want to know what's interesting? I actually just saw a TikTok, I think maybe earlier this morning or last night, on this very thing regarding, let me see if I can find it. It should be in my favorites. But regarding the idea that there's like a violence that's inherent when a man is rejected. Rejection not being just like a romantic thing or a sexual thing, but like anytime that a man feels rejected, there's this type of violence that follows it, particularly when in a situation with a woman. And I do believe you when it comes to like, I think the essay rate in the Black community, specifically for Black girls under 18, I think it's something like 40 to 60%. And that's
Oh my
considered a
goodness.
conservative estimate, especially given the fact that Black women and Black girls are the least likely to report, right? So that sounds on brand. But this is the video that I saw. It's about a minute long, and the caption says, "When women don't play their part and acquiesce to men's opinions, they will encounter violence. Chauvinism requires women to grin and bear it and protect the male ego. Even when he's wrong, he is right." There's also a line about she's being reduced down to a poor woman, a pacifying statement to calm his anger and soothe his fragile ego, as if asking for forgiveness for her conduct. And let's see what that conduct was.
And it's a very narrow perspective. That's the most unfortunate part of this.
It's not a perspective, it's a real fact.
Do you care about the starving millions of African people in this country?
I care
Do you
more.
care about the farm workers who are being oppressed in this country? Do you care about the fact...
Don't interrupt me. I've finished. Thank you. Bye. Take where the shit. Bye.
Okay.
And you won't dare.
Mr. Sahi,
You won't dare interrupting me
once more.
Take away this man.
Thank you very much. Touch me, and you'll be in trouble. Touch me on my studio.
You touched me.
Touch me on my.
So let me point out the fact that he gets upset at being interrupted when he, in fact, is interrupting her trying to finish what she's saying. And then instead of responding, he gets up and throws a temper tantrum like a child. This man looked 90 to 100 years old. I'm not sure what age exactly. Maybe he's like 20, because I do know that white people age differently. But this is a grown man throwing a temper tantrum. And then after he throws his little tantrum, instead of leaving, he comes back to try to get in her face and threaten her. We're only half a minute in, but they do like, then the other people there are like, come on, she's just a poor woman. Stop it. We don't have to play the rest, but they're like, she's just a poor woman. But it's like they have to now not infantilize the woman, but like they have to shrink her so that he understands that he's like almost as if he's about to hit a dog. Come on, she doesn't know what she's doing. She's just a woman. Stop it. The idea that you have to walk around in life, even with these at his big grown age, right? His big dinosaur age, as my friend would say. You got to walk around appeasing this man's ego is wild to me. That's wild. 90 is generous. Thank
Petty,
you,
can
Kenny.
I?
Some Kenny today.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Petty, can I say something?
Sure.
Just thinking about the idea of having to grin and bear something, right? Grin and bear oppression, grin and bear abuse, discrimination. I often find that, especially Black women, we're told that we don't reject men nicely enough. So it leads to us being hurt, assaulted, killed, unalived, and all that stuff, right? So you just nicer. Why do you have to be so mean, right? And it's weird how I feel that that argument is also paralleled when Black men are encountered negatively discriminated, assaulted by police officers or white supremacists. And then those same people will argue, well, calmer, why didn't you just listen to the police officer? Or maybe you could have responded to them nicer or more It's just interesting how you can be harmed by society, oppressed, and still oppress others. And a lot of the times that thinking is exactly the same, that negative low level thinking, and the rationale you feel somebody has to like grit their teeth in order to appease your ego and like your biases. So I just popped into my mind and I just wanted to comment.
And their aggression. We're expected to just like grin and bear their aggression. And I just don't get it. But to what I was saying earlier, it starts early. When girls are conditioned early to grin and bear the things that boys do. And like I said, it just goes on to middle school, then it goes on to high school. And for some reason, they've got it in their minds that when things don't go their way with girls or women, that the first thing they should do is intimidate you in some way. And like I said, even high school boys do it. If you don't want to go further, they, you, man, why you knew you was this and that, or you knew what was about to go. Why you? It's an intimidation. And then a lot of times, I would say most of the time, it works. The girls give in. And then you are in high school finding yourself having sex under intimidation. And you're sad, you don't know why you sad, you crying, you don't know why you crying, he asking you what you crying for, and it's like you just intimidated me into this, that's why I'm crying. You know what I mean? And I just wonder, like, why where does it come from? Where did this chain, this passed down from generation to generation? Where did it start? Like, how did it even come to this?
Let's talk about it. What Mara says. One of the maintenance guys where I live asked me for my number. He didn't like that I turned him down. Fast forward, when I asked about getting something fixed in my apartment, homeboy told me no. That sounds illegal for him to do, and that sounds like some type of, is this blackmail or extortion or something? I have no, that sounds like a big grown child. Like that don't, no, that's not a big grown child. Let's call it what it is. That's how men are. Actually, I don't feel like infantilizing them, right? I want to address that these are grown men. These aren't children, right? Because children do things without reason, or they follow the example of adults, or they look at what they can see around them and follow an example of their environment. Adults are some big grown ass people. Yes, that is grounds of being fired. And these grown people with a fully developed mind, right? Assuming they're 25 and older, with a fully developed mind, are choosing to do something like this of their own accord. And I want to be cognizant of that, instead of just being like, oh, this is childish, or this is remedial or something. No, I do want to point out the fact that these are some grown, coherent people who are choosing to engage with the world in this way. Somebody did want to play the video fully. I'm not sure if you guys wanted to or not, but it's about a minute long. I think someone asked me to replay it. They might have missed it. Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah, can I say
Yep.
something real quick though?
Mm-hmm.
Something about that, what the maintenance guy did, something about that feels illegal. Something about that feels abusive and illegal. I don't know the correct words, but it is definitely not right.
And like this feels,
Well, it's illegal. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
aside from the legality of it, this feels scary. Like this is someone who has a
Yeah.
key to your apartment. Like,
Ooh, yes.
and why is it? This remove the trust that I have in men, the little trust or the little hope that I have. I feel like it's slowly removed the more we go on. We've been talking about Tory Lanez is an affluent rapper today. He has a lot of influence. We've been talking about judges. We've been talking about police officers. We've been talking about people with authority, right? And now a maintenance man, people with authority, people with access to you, misusing it in a disgusting way. This is scary. This is scary, and it's kind of disgusting.
It really is, and you're not exaggerating. It is scary.
Like scary is an understatement. I can't find the word right now, but
yeah,
I'm like, hey, I'm calling the leasing officer. Like, can I change my locks or can I report this man? Then they got me scared to report somebody. What if is the report anonymous? Do these people know? What if they feel like they're going to retaliate?
Yeah.
Like, got me feeling like I have to walk on
If I
eggshells.
were,
It's
if
like
I
it's
were
like
them.
mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead. If I were them, I would honestly try maybe to like look up like the regional staff and stuff and send an email and start documenting, because that's what I did to get out of my last lease, because that was just a mess. And I had an issue with the maintenance guy too, who came into my house at night and like kind of just didn't want to leave. Like it was crazy.
No.
But there's also been a lot of situations where maintenance men have literally unalived women. So, like, if this person is showing that they have an interest in you and now they're refusing service, I would tell someone immediately, because they do have a key to your.
But look at like the lengths that
I'm
you're
sorry,
speaking of.
Mara. You have to live under those circumstances.
Look at the lengths that you're speaking about, right? Like I would be calling corporate, I would be getting their supervisor, making sure I get this document. Like this is such an extreme length to go just to make sure you're safe in your own home. And the idea that I start off by saying, oh, I would be calling their boss and getting them fired. And then I retract that because I'm like, wait, this person has access to my living space. I don't know if I want that trouble. And I think about what you guys are saying about the idea that if you reject someone, instead of taking it like to the head and moving on, they like almost demand an apology or demand some sympathy, or you need to start sympathizing with these abusers, right? Out of legitimate fear. Like literally I was like, oh, we should report them. Then I was like, wait, no, maybe not, because they have a key to my apartment. Literally it feels like kind of the theme of what we've been talking about for the entire video. Even in the video that we just watched, where they start like this man get up out his seat because he's angry that she would dare to ask him questions, and then start threatening her, and they come in like, wait, she's just wait, hold up, she doesn't know what she's talking about, I'm sorry. Like I have to appease your wrongdoing. It's something about that feels disgusting to me. Kenny, welcome. Are you here to end the beef, or what's going on today?
Hey, Kenny.
Hey everyone, hey Haji, cultural misfit. Hey Petty. I can't end the beef because I did not.
You can't what?
Oh, I can't. Is my AC too loud? I was saying I can't end the beef because I never started it. That was your fault.
I see. That sounds petty, but I don't know. What say you on the topics today?
I did step away for a second. Something. He's still thinking about how women have to kind of like acquiesce to men hitting on them in uncomfortable situations to protect themselves. Because that's why.
Yeah. hitting on them, threatening them, anything.
Yeah. The only reason I really clicked this because I think it's kind of interesting because I was talking to someone literally like yesterday about this, but this is a gay guy I'm talking about, like a femme gay guy. And also my friend X is here. Shout out to them. They've also talked to me about that, where it never even occurs to me where like for instance, I live in the Bronx. I can walk in the Bronx for like an hour and a half, almost blackout drunk, without a shirt on, shades on, and no one bothers me. And then people will tell me like, oh, I was over here and like this homeless man was trying to like grab my ass. And I'm just like, it doesn't even occur to me that I have any type of protection in that sense where people will just see me and leave me alone. And I wonder if some thank you, Mary. Yeah. But it doesn't even occur to me that I have like this invisible level of protection just because maybe I'm like mask presenting, you know, where people just don't harass me or anything.
Yeah, it's almost unconscious. I went walking in the Bronx, I think 2 or 3 months ago, just like a leisurely stroll. I didn't know at the time that the Bronx was what it was, but I called one of my woman friends, and she was extremely concerned. She was fearful,
Right.
she was scared. She was like, "Yo, are you good? Is anybody? You got to get out of there right now. They will come and kill you or something weird." And I was like, "I'm just going on a leisurely stroll. What are you talking about?" The perspective from a woman doing something as simple as walking in the Bronx, which is something I wasn't thinking about consciously until after she talked to me, is like for them to preemptively be thinking about this anytime that they walk somewhere is wild. Even in like New York, or Manhattan or somewhere.
Yeah, I think that might be part of why. Oh, hey, Haji, did you want to say something? Sorry.
Oh, thank you. I was just going to say, do y'all remember that video where that guy was putting up pictures saying these white girls can go through our neighborhood without getting untouched? And everybody was dragging him, and he couldn't understand why. Like, he genuinely didn't get it. And it's like, you're a grown man, and you don't understand that it's horrible that any woman of any color will have to worry about being touched walking through
Right.
your neighborhood.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding. So it's a man, and he's like
Yeah, he
only.
was throwing up pictures of different types of white girls, and he was basically saying these white girls can come through our neighborhood without being touched.
It feels like there's an implication here that he will sexually assault any woman who's not the women in the picture.
That's
Exactly.
what I was.
And any black women or
It,
Latin women or anyone
exactly.
who's not white. That's
Also, I even have an like it's anecdotal, but I have an experience of being by like in my house by my house, and my best friend she well one of my best friends, obviously not my own, but she's a white girl, and this guy was like, I was dropping her off at the train station so she could like go home to Brooklyn, and this guy was like, oh my God, you're so lucky. I don't know how you pull white girls, all this. And I was like, I'm gay. That's just my friend. And he hopped over the turnstile and ran onto the train. Like he tried to catch the train before she was just to like hit on her. Like he literally sprinted to go like try and like hit on her, basically. Yeah.
Wow.
My friend said these men will do anything to get a woman besides improve themselves. Why is it hopping over a train? Right? Okay, you got some quirky.
Well, I guess he turned himself into Iron Man. That's an improvement.
I was walking around my own neighborhood when a man in a box truck circled the block 4 times, following me. At one point, he almost hit me. I fully thought he would pull over and drag me into the truck. No, this is wild. And this is like being followed, for example, is one that I've heard a lot from my women friends, or the fear of being followed, or like hyper focusing on cars that are passing to make sure you're not being followed. And did that car circle the block again? This was when I heard walking around the block in a square to see if the car is still following you. Like I've heard some wild stuff from women, but also we are 20 minutes away from the 2-hour mark, and I did want to keep this video under 2 hours. I don't know that we're going to get into fighting for relationships. Should I make that just something we do tomorrow for 2 hours? Because I don't feel like trying to cram it within 10 minutes, or excuse me, 20 minutes. Maybe.
I feel like the answer is simple. Like, I mean, why would anyone fight for like? Why do we have to fight for relationships? It's optional.
I don't disagree that you should fight for a relationship. I don't disagree. I'm questioning where you should cut off fighting for a relationship versus giving it up. I feel like some people are cutting it off way too late. Maybe some people are cutting it off early. Like, if you tell your man to take out the trash and he's like, I don't feel like it, should he leave, or should he like, when I say fight for a relationship, I don't mean like literal fighting. I mean like doing something that you might not want to do, or compromising or something like that. How much compromise is too much compromise? Which kind of compromises are deal breakers? Where should we draw a line? So obviously taking out the trash is like not that extreme, but just an example.
Yeah, I think
sorry.
I think once you started asking that question, a lot of other questions popped in my head. So I think you probably saved that for your next stream. But because yeah, like if my husband is like, I don't feel like taking out the trash, yeah, I'm just gonna be like, okay, he's having a moment. Let me leave him alone for a second. That's easy.
Or here's one that I've heard. Your partner may be going through like something regarding their mental health. Maybe they have depression or anxiety or something like that. Obviously, there are things you can do in your relationship to be accommodating and understanding to someone who's struggling with mental health. I think a lot of people struggle with mental health. So maybe you might even be going through your own things, and you might think of the type of sympathy or grace you might want to extend to yourself. What you feel like is enough, isn't enough, is too much, is too little. So yeah, my thoughts are all over the place right now, but so I guess
I'd be willing to listen to the conversation tomorrow for sure. Like, I think it's an interesting conversation, and like it's like I know that at the end of the day, it's like if you're willing to fight for, just be willing to fight for that, and don't be salty if you don't get it in return. And I know that sounds crazy, right? Because it's only fair, right, that your partner give you the love and grace that you give them. But you may support a person through their depression for 3 years straight. They might up and decide to move on when they come out of that depression. So I guess you just have to think about what makes it worth it for you, and not really doing it because you're just expecting them to stay loyal to you, but doing it because it's a part of your values and what you will.
Oh, I think
you went mute.
Yeah.
Oh, I stopped talking.
Like really abruptly.
I was gonna say, I would have liked to get like a teaser of the conversation at least. Or like
a teaser. I can give you guys a teaser. So we can someone wanted me to replay the video of the man getting up and leaving the studio. We can play that and then go to the teaser, or I can just play the teaser and then we can follow up tomorrow evening, probably after work. Y'all know I have a long day of janitorial services to provide. Really quickly, off the topic, if you're dating, is it a lie if you call yourself a medical professional if I work in a hospital. So would it be a lie for me to call myself a medical professional, regardless of my title? Like technically I have to do like the airborne pathogens training, and
Petty,
would it be a
this
Oh
lie?
no.
But would
you're a
it be
whole
a lie?
surgeon.
Huh?
Yeah, you're a surgeon.
I,
I'm not a
I would
surgeon.
block you.
No, I'm kidding. But no, but I don't think saying you work in a medical space is wrong.
Oh, you know what? I work in the medical field.
No,
Ooh.
Yes.
I think medical space is better. Not
Yeah.
field, not professional. Cause like, stop, you're gonna get blocked.
Oh, I work alongside nurses and doctors. Yeah.
No, so you're basically a resident. Yeah, you could put medical field.
That would be a lie from the pits of hell. Oh my goodness. No. It's not a lie. It's not. But so it seems like we all agree that this is okay to do. Got it. Okay, instead of replaying that, actually, I'm gonna replay it. Somebody wanted to replay it, so we're going to replay it. It's only a minute long, so it's fine. And then we can go to the teaser for the next thing. I'll play a little intermission.
And it's a very narrow perspective. That's the most unfortunate part of this.
It's not a perspective, it's a real fact.
Do you care about the starving millions of African people in this country?
I care more.
Do you care about the farm workers who are being oppressed in this country? Do you care about
don't interrupt me. I've finished. Thank you. Bye. Take where the shit. Bye.
Okay.
And you won't dare,
Mr. Vasahi.
you won't dare interrupting me once more. Take away this man.
Thank you very much. Touch me, and you'll be in trouble. Touch me on my studio.
You touched me.
Touch me on my studio. Touch me on my studio.
You touched me.
And
take away his arm.
Touch me on my studio.
Take away his arm from
touch me on my studio. Touch me on my studio.
I touch you on your studio.
Touch me on my studio.
I touch you on your studio.
You don't do that.
Don't touch him.
Wait. This is guys.
Yeah, let's go.
I am not finished with you.
Mr. Vasahi, stop threatening this woman, Mr. Vasahi. I'm telling you, stop it now. Would you stop it now, Mr. Vasahi?
I won't stop it. You try to stop me.
Mr. Vasahi, why are you threatening this poor woman? What has she done to you? She's expressing her views.
She's talking about the capitalist whites. Why do you think?
And it's a very narrow perspective.
That was the full video. So how are we all feeling about that before we go to the next topic?
I feel like who was he going to beat up? He looks like he's one step from you breaking his bones by just shoving him.
And me personally, I believe this was performative. When men see other men who are going to hold them, you know that thing, hold me back, hold me back. I feel like he wasn't going to do anything. I'm cautious when I say that because I very well believe he could have put his hands on her if he wanted to. But the idea is, in my mind, he wants to threaten her with physical violence, even if he's not going to do it. He just wants to intimidate her, and physical violence is an easy means for him to do that with, because he can't articulate himself in conversation, and he can't hold the space for her to get out her own point before he tries to interrupt her. And this frustrates him. Maybe that a woman is being given equal time to speak as him, and so his ego his ego is defeated, and now he has to get up and throw a grown man temper tantrum at his grown 90 to 110-year-old age, or 20 because he's white. So we know the aging process is different across each.
Can I ask a question? Put a 1 in the chat if you feel like she could have taken him.
Excuse me, whose chat is this? What type of authority do you have over my chat to come and ask everybody? Put a 1 if what?
If you feel like she could have taken him, because I feel like she could have bopped that man.
Oh,
Was that a black woman? I couldn't really see. It was a black woman, right?
She looks biracial or like
a biracial woman.
Maybe.
Okay.
Biracial,
yeah.
She could be black, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how to look this up. I don't know who these people are. It doesn't say their names or anything. I don't know. What is this on? E-News, Africa 360. Let me see.
I was just gonna say that his behavior definitely like if she had a foldable chair, you know, that's what it warranted, the foldable chair, because he was getting a little close.
That would have been hilarious. Well, even more hilarious because it was already hilarious.
Who is this man? I'm not gonna. It was this grown man throwing a tantrum like this had me cackling a little bit in my head. I just couldn't find the space to laugh for it, given the context of the earlier conversation. But what they call colored in South Africa. Oh, somebody need to let South Africans know that term is outdated. We prefer. Oh wait, I was going to say African American. Okay,
No, person of color.
one for sure. I'm for violence when it means Black women defending themselves. I also don't want to masculinize Black women in this conversation. I do want them to be able to be soft and feminine, fit friendly, whatever they call it, right? So, but yeah, she could take them. Let's be real. Guns down, chair. Thank you. She's sitting in one. She's sitting in her whip.
Yeah.
Hold the chair. Okay, one thing I like about the Alabama brawl thing, the Montgomery brawl, is the memes that came out of it. I will always appreciate those. Now, let's go to what was supposed to be our main topic. We got distracted by Megan Thee Stallion. Maybe we should do one thing at a time from now on, but it's fine. We got distracted. This is a video I saw. It's 1 minute long. It's 1 minute long. We can discuss it a little bit, and then we'll follow up tomorrow.
We're thinking about breaking up. Not because we hate each other, because we love each other very much, but because we love each other very much is why we feel we need to break up.
I feel like the love we have for each other has brought us to this point where we're realizing that we deserve to be fulfilled and to chase our own dreams. I picture my life in one way, and
I picture my life in a certain point of view. I am very laid back. I like to go with the flow. I like to just take things as they come. And she is a planner, an organizer, a decision oriented, prepare myself 30 steps ahead.
To explain it a little better, like I'm definitely type A and he's definitely type C. We knew about these differences when we first got together. And I don't think that they were scary to us. I don't think that they made us feel like we could fail because of it. But we recognized it and we thought, opposites attract, it could definitely work. But I think we're realizing different now. I think it's just a little weird because I've never had such an amicable breakup.
Yeah, this is one of those breakups where it's not like I'm in danger, I got to burn this down and run. I have to leave, red flag, red flag. I feel like at her core, there's things that she wants to accomplish in her life. There's things that I want to accomplish on my own, but our goals are in two different directions.
Welcome, Vitamin. You didn't get a notification. Y'all better hit that bell icon. But I did move the live around. So what do we think about what we just watched? First of all, did y'all hear it? Because it sounded a little low to me.
I heard it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think this is called it's called conscious uncoupling. When you consciously decide to uncouple, it sounds like they have different goals in life. I honestly wish all breakups could be like this. Like, I wonder if we could live in a society where breakups don't have to be traumatizing. So maybe like that's what I meant earlier when I was like, do we really need to fight? Like, if we've come to a conclusion that, hey, like, this was great, we want different things now, let's consciously uncouple. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I was kind of, when I was watching it, I don't want to be mean, but I was kind of getting the vibe like, by saying she's like a serious planner, do you mean like she has a job and like she likes to plan and you like to sit on the couch and smoke weed? Like, I don't know. But I don't want to just assume that he's not, because maybe he's genuinely just free spirited, but when you describe yourself as free spirited, my mind starts, because if I called myself free spirited, I was probably smoking weed and drinking heavily. So
free spirited to me means you cheating. That's what it means to me. You cheating. What are you talking about? I'm a free spirit. I can't be saying. Hey, Ohaji.
I was just laughing. But I don't know. I thought it was nice. very mature of them. I liked it.
So we are. Hold up. Just typing some things. Don't worry about what I'm typing. Just typing some things.
Yeah.
I
What?
agree with you, Kenny. I was like thinking that too. I just didn't want to be the one to say it, but because I didn't want to sound like a hater and be a negative Nancy. But yeah, when he was like, "Oh, she's just very type A," and I'm so laid back and free spirit. I don't think adults are typically free spirit unless they're unemployed or something like that. And it's just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. Like, uh, she needs to move on, and I'm glad he's letting her go.
So go ahead, Kenny.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I agree with production. I also agree with cultural misfit, but with production inquiry, where she said he is immature and not mentally ready. I feel like even when I was like doing ecstasy at Pride without any clothes on, I was not calling myself free spirited. I don't know why free spirited. It gives the same vibe as like when men say females. Like it seems like a
Ooh.
bit of a red flag.
You said it's a trigger word. Molly
Yeah.
at Pride. So y'all are anyway. So let me ask you guys about a couple of comments because the comments are what made me feel like we need to talk about this. I'm gonna read some of them out. I want to know some thoughts. The first one says, I will never understand this. Let's move past that. The second one says, this sounds like a lack of compromise. The third one says, ain't nothing out here. Work it out, figure it out. There are not a lot of opportunities for love. If you love each other, fix it. Another says, she's the structure you need in your life. Don't lose this woman to another man. Another says, that's the best type of woman to have as a life partner and mother of your kids. I think they have kids together. You will regret letting her go to another man. And I'll finish with this one that says, I've been married 39 years. Please work this out. You don't find this kind of love just anywhere. Um, now what are our thoughts? Are our thoughts the same?
Yes.
The last one, I'll finish with this one actually. Does that not bring a certain kind of balance to the relationship regarding them being opposites, learning from each other and meeting in the middle? Okay, there. Now we can all talk.
Meet in the middle of what? Meet in the middle of what? He's not gonna be meeting her anywhere. She's the planner. She's the worker. She's the non-free spirited person. He likes to chill and take it slow. So at what point are they gonna meet in the middle? Like people are so desperate to like, and I get it because society pushes relationships and relationships are beautiful and it's great to be with each other, but there are lots of humans on this earth. Like, there's not going to be any meeting in the middle with a man who says, "Hey, I just want to chill. So have fun working. You're type A." And yeah, like, at what point would they meet in the middle if they don't have similar goals? They don't even have the same goals.
Hmm. Anybody can comment. It's open. Y'all can say anything. I'm trying not to. I'm saving my thoughts for tomorrow. That's what I'm doing. I'm saving my thoughts for tomorrow. I just want to know what you guys think so far because part two, people in the comments of part two were like, y'all should have started with this one. Um, this is what y'all should have made this video number one. So I have some thoughts, but I want to know y'all thoughts just based off of what we've seen so far and heard so far. So is that all of our thoughts?
Well, I still think it was good that they broke up that way. They had the conversation. I do think that the commenters are right, and I also agree with Cultural Mind. Like, he probably is going to regret it. um, he's probably going to be really, really sad one day um, when he realizes, I don't know her. She could be horrible. Who knows? But it seems like he's going to maybe regret that. But I'm just glad that she moved on before she was angry and bitter.
Everybody's on mute. I need everybody to come off mute and talk.
What I was gonna say is that actually, when I think about it, I will give him a little bit of a I'll give him a little bit benefit of the doubt only because they were able to have an amicable breakup. So like if he was trying to use her, then it probably would not have gone down as smoothly as that. I haven't seen part 2, and now I really want to see part 2. That said, peace is overrated. Choose chaos. I don't agree with that, but
Who
I
said
do
that?
My friend X
Oh,
Weeks.
okay.
I do think there's something to be said for like opposites attract. Like I don't necessarily think that she needs another type A personality to bounce off of just to balance her life. Like it's possible that maybe he really is just a little more free spirited and she likes to, schedule her bathroom breaks at 10:35, like it depends. But my instinct is it sounds like she's ambitious and you're not.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's what it sounds like.
You also have to think about the alternative, right? Like, what's the alternative to this? Like, okay, we can consciously uncouple now, or we can fight for it. Um, and then maybe 5 years later, we will be like ripping each other apart because we're so frustrated. Now we hate each other. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it's gonna come to an end at some point. So we could do this, like they said on the Boondocks, we could do this the easy way. We could do this the hard way.
Now I know what you're talking
Exactly.
about. Now, why
That's
are
why
you
I'm glad
saying
she
that?
got out
I know
now.
exactly what you're talking about.
Don't make no sense. Thank you. So we are at the 2-hour mark. We're going to do a closing remarks. In the after show, the Discord is now open for the general Discord. I'll put a link in the comments if you guys aren't in there already. I think all of you are in there already. I'm pretty sure. But there's the link in case anyone's not in there already. The general Discord is open. It is not the private channel. The private channel, I think people have to be approved individually. So that means I have to go through them one by one. I ain't got time for that on the janitor schedule. I'm already 40 hours into this week and it ain't even Monday yet. 40 hours into my work week. So that's going to take some time. The general Discord is open. And when I say open, I mean, if we ever blow up and for some reason the men come over here, they're going to be in Discord. They're going to be Paul. So if you guys are familiar with that, but we're gonna have a quick after show. So let me play my little thing, and we can do that.
You really want to catch fucking?
Oops, I'm sorry. I gotta get a new intermission.
I missed the one with the TikTok guy.
The TikTok guy?
The rapper where he was like, I put the tip in, or whatever.
That's what I was about to play, but I reached out to him for the rights. I reached out to him for the rights so that I can use it and have like no fear of monetization being revoked in the future or something like that because it's playing in my video. But he hasn't responded yet. So we're waiting. We're waiting for that. We are waiting. Hold up. I think it might be free use actually. Let me go and check. Have you ever had? Oh my goodness. Okay, he has a lot of songs like that. A lot. I wondered what happened to that one. People got upset. Thank you to the panelists that came. Do you guys?
What is Pauling?
Uh-huh.
What is Pauling? Production inquiry said Paul, and I thought I was the only one who didn't understand that word. What does that mean?
I can't say.
Okay. Type it in the chat.
Let me see. Actually, I will after the stream, and I'll let you know. But Bicultural Misfit, thank you for coming up and contributing today. So if you guys don't have any final thoughts to give, I can now show you. I didn't realize this. My memes are separated by platform. My taste in humor is separated by platform. And Instagram seems to be the place to go whenever I need to find memes that I find funny. So we can go through about 5 of these 15 to 20-second memes, or you guys can give a closing remark, or both. Pick your poison.
I vote for both.
Okay, let's start with closing remarks. Kenny, being bold today.
I vote for both.
Okay. Hey, Ohaji, you can start then. What say you on the entire video?
Well,
okay, so y'all want to. Okay, if y'all need time, y'all can say we could do the memes first. If y'all want to collect.
No, I'm good.
Oh.
Well, as far as like you know, the aggression towards women, the violence towards women, the problem that we have, you know, obviously we've been talking about it for a while, so you know, it's not like we were going to solve the problem. But I do want to figure out why it is that from just a small child all the way into middle school and high school, it just seems to be this cycle that just goes around and around. Excuse me. I do want to come back tomorrow for the other discussion. And my only other comment is just thank you for having me up. It's my first time here.
Oh, I know it's not your first time here because I've seen you twerking in the chat. That might be
No,
on
I mean up on the panel.
Oh, well,
on
thank
your
you.
panel.
I like it when people come up because I had to go to the bathroom and y'all was here to hold down the fort when I went to the bathroom and to answer the door. I made a pit stop on the way to the door. But thank you for joining. I appreciate the unique perspective.
Okay,
Kenny.
I'll drop down for the memes.
Okay. Just me and Kenny. Misogyny panel is on. Let's go.
I do not associate my name with that because now my real life, one of my closest friends is here, so you can't embarrass me like that now.
All right.
But yeah, my thoughts have pretty much stayed the same. I will say when it comes to what's it called? Tory Lanez versus Megan Thee Stallion, it does have me looking at people sideways. Like, I actually can give women more of a pass if they feel the need to defend Tory Lanez because we know our culture builds up like the value of the black man. But when black men do it, it's almost like Krishan Rock, where it's like the lengths you're willing to go to defend this person make me think you want to be able to get away with the things that this person does. And that doesn't sit right with me at all.
Yeah, I think it would benefit me maybe to look into, I guess, or do some theory on the different reasons why a person might sympathize with someone. Because what you say about black women sympathizing with an abuser, I think is, in my mind, fundamentally different for the reason why men do it, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I think we're on one accord tonight. That would be something that's interesting to look into. So,
so would you like to formally end the beef that you started?
Huh?
I said, would you like to formally end the beef that you started?
See, this is why we can't end the beef, because you can't just say we should end the beef. You have to throw in shade. You have to throw in a tree. Forget shade. You have to throw in a tree at the end. Like, you can't just say, it's time to end the beef. I just want to be mature about it. No, you have to say, finally, we can end this thing that you started. Like, why you gotta?
When did I say I was mature?
Huh?
When did I say I was mature?
You didn't say you were mature, but you're not here to prove that you're mature or not mature today. You are here to contribute to the panel, as well as you asked me the question, can we finally end the beef? I'm just explaining why we can't just yet. Maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow. But with that being said, we can now get into these memes, maybe an inappropriate time.
Sorry, did you want me to drop down?
Huh?
I said, did you want me to drop down for the memes?
You can stay, you can drop down.
I'll stay for a second. I got like a few more free minutes.
All right, let's see. This is something that I really resonated with. So these are triplets, right? And the comment says, "We'll discuss the fits later, but why are you guys triplets at your big age?" And I don't know why. I don't know why I found this funny, but I found this incredibly funny. Incredibly funny. Stockholm
Wait, so
syndrome
this
type beat. See, this is how I know my people are here now. I've been waiting for a
That's
comment
my
like this.
people. That is someone I brought to this channel. That's not
Oh,
your
this
people.
is the X you're talking about.
My
Okay.
friend, yes.
This is a new name. Welcome, X Speaks. This is a new name. I was like, Stockholm syndrome type beat. Come on. These are my people now. These people will understand these memes. What are they supposed to do? Merge? Yeah, I mean, you can't be like these men look at least what 40, maybe late 30s, 40s. At this grown age, you're still triplets. Merge or do something. This don't make no damn sense. When I'm forced to interact with any straight man, is that Azalea Banks? Let's see what she has to say.
That is not Azalea.
How are you?
Oh,
Huh?
is it?
I
don't think that's Azalea Banks. I don't think that's
I'm getting you down.
Oh, sorry.
Just recorded.
Ew.
This is here.
Hi.
How are you? I'm getting you down.
Oh, sorry.
Just recorded.
Ew.
She just say ew. It's such a straight. Why is this? This is my my peak comedy. How is she always rude but at the right time? I support her. The ill. Here's the comment that made me save this. Why do straight males always have to make S complicated with these damned handshakes? It feels forced and unnecessary. Let me see what somebody replied. One of the men replied, "It's just a dap." And they replied, "Ew, they have a name for that sort of behavior? Let's not normalize that. Think of the children." He fighting for his life in here. He says it's a handshake. It's not this deep. And they said it's not a handshake. It's an abomination that corrupts the youth. Adapt is 2 motions. He just tried to make her hands do like 5 things. This is wild to me. Are straight men out here oppressing people with handshakes? This is so funny to me. I have no idea why this is so funny, but her facial expression, the fact that these men are in the comments and they got a whole name for dap. What is a dap? I've never heard of that. I've never heard of a dap. Disgusting. Stop making people do. Stop this. This is so
I'm gonna
wild.
need you to send me that video because I feel like he dapped her up wrong. Like I feel like he made the dap awkward by the way he started it, but I only saw it that one time.
Put this in the private chat real quick. I'll put it in the
That's why she said ill, because that wasn't a natural dap. She was like, "What are you trying to do?"
Let me see.
Saying the first.
Oops.
This is here.
Hi.
How are you? I'm getting you down.
Oh, sorry.
Just recorded.
Ew.
Yeah, no, I knew it. I was like, she knows how to dap someone up. That was not what that was.
Women don't dap. It's true. Their poor feminine hands can't handle. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought we were doing misogyny tonight. I apologize. That's actually like really rude. That's kind of cringy. I apologize. Let's finish off with 3 more.
Saying the first word that comes to mind until we say the same word.
Jacket.
John. Saying the first.
What does she mean by that?
Wait a minute. I know they didn't just go to N and then they both paused. That's not what happened.
Saying the first word that comes to mind until we say the same word.
Jacket.
John. Saying the first.
Ooh, they look like they wanted
this. I can't be associated with this.
No, let me see. Oh, there was this episode of SpongeBob. Can I play that? Hold up.
What about you, Patrick? A big nigga's gotta eat.
I'm like, what?
Wait, where did you find? That's not what he said.
Do you remember that episode? Or
yes, he said a big boy's gotta eat. I promise you that was not what he said.
Okay, I'm looking for the last one. It's the most important one. I have to find it.
I'm gonna copyright strike this video so I cannot be associated with this racist content.
I hope I can find this. Did they delete it? That's sad if they did, because it's like the funniest thing I've ever seen. Oh no, I'm sorry. Just hold up. I wasn't expecting this.
I'm about to go to Taco Bell and get me a box. I'm about to go to Taco Bell.
Nah, that came out of. That's not even what I was looking for. That just came out of nowhere.
I don't understand where that came from.
Bro, I've seen something on TikTok. It's to do. It's like back at it again with another milkshake. Help! Help me! This man just started yelling.
Do you support LeBron giving back to communities?
Boy! I'm sorry. I'm trying. I can't find what I'm looking for.
Actually, I'm gonna send you memes now.
Please do. Please look the Discord. Let me make a meme channel so we can all relish. I'm about to do it right now. You about to see it pop up in the Discord right now. Hold up. Bam. Just like that. Just like that. We'll name this after you for 1 month.
Who, me?
Yep.
Yes, call it Kenny's memes.
What's your IG? I just realized I actually don't promote my TikTok or my Instagram or anything. If y'all follow me on Instagram or TikTok, y'all know that what I post on there has nothing to do with anything that I post here. Please don't go over there if but
This
here it is.
Odd because when I started following Petty, there were twerking videos
on Instagram.
Yeah, of you twerking
on Instagram.
I don't want to run you all the way down on the internet. No, I'm just gonna
twerking. No, that's a bold accusation. I need you to explain. Go ahead. I don't like that. Why you came up here and made a wild? Why you came over here and made a wild accusation, then went silent for 13 seconds?
So you can let the accusation rest, or you can let me explain it.
Go ahead.
Petty was over here with his cheeks out on Instagram.
Oh yeah, I had my booty meat out, but I didn't. So I have a PR person, and they told me that I need to take everything that was on my Instagram down, before I get reported. But yeah, my bare booty cheeks were out there, but I wasn't twerking. That would just be wild. That would just be wild.
The bare booty cheeks on. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna let you cheeks. Your show.
Okay, let's see. I can't find what I'm looking for, so we're unfortunately going to have to end with this one. He says, the first female, I will always emphasize that word whenever any man uses it. That's a weird word to use. To reply with their Cash App, I'm blessing them. Someone replied with her Cash App, and he says, Father God, I ask that you bless this young lady's Cash App and wrap your arms around this woman's Cash App and grant it serenity, peace, and glory. Father God, I ask that you shine your light and heavenly eyes on her Cash App. Amen. Amen. And I promise you, I'm about to steal that, and I'm about to piss somebody off with it. I'm about to send that to my family group chat. Anybody, send me your Cash App, guys, so I can bless it. The first person to send me their Cash App, I'm going to bless it. I promise you, I'm about to piss some people off. My family's a God-fearing family too. I know they found it. They're gonna say a curse word. I found it. Okay, I found the one I was looking for. Forget everything that I've showed you up until this point. This is something that was wild to me, and we can end here. Let me see.
I am going to be the terrorist. You have 3 seconds to attract attention. Go! Nigger! Nigger!
No,
look. I can't. Well, y'all saw the turtle's face, so you can't imagine what my face looked like when I saw this.
What?
So how do we, based on all of this, how do we feel about my humor on a scale of 1 to 10? Where's my humor at? 10 being the best.
I give it like an 8. Honestly,
I'll take
the kind of thing that will make me laugh. I just gasped audibly, so yeah, that's the kind of thing that would crack me up.
Make sure if you guys are watching, you like the video. I was supposed to say that in the beginning and in the middle. I keep forgetting, so oops. Anybody who's still watching, please like the video. It helps out a lot.
Ooh, you got a 4.
I got a what?
A 4. Someone said 4.
Hold up. Y'all are in the comments rating. I did not give y'all permission. Hold up. 5.7. That's old. Oh.
Ooh. Yikes. Someone said middle school humor. Ooh.
Who even told y'all to rate somebody? I asked Kenny specifically. And well, Andrea clearly has a more accurate kind of measure of comedy. I think I know Andrea. She's I think a humor specialist or something along that line. So she does have some credibility in this field, and I think we do need to give that kind of weight and more credibility than the other comments. I would say she's probably worth like 10 to 20 comments as far as rating. So 9.5. I'll take it. Thank you everybody for watching. Thanks Kenny for coming up. Thanks Heyo Haji. Thanks Cultural Misfit for coming up, and thank you to there was someone else who came up. Was it Yasmin? Thank you for Yasmin and everybody else who came up.
And I can't remember right now. Misfit? Something Misfit.
Yeah. I already said that. We will revisit the beef next video to see if we can put the beef in the ground or not. I'm going to drop the link for the Discord one more time. Be sure you guys are liking the video on your way out. Let me make an invite to the meme Discord specifically. All of the meme Discord, the private Discord, the open Discord, they're all in the same Discord. So you don't have to join a bunch of different ones. And that is that on that. Any final words, Kenny?
Oh no, I just wish everyone a good night. Wait, hold on. Am I in the private Discord?
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right.
I just checked.
I just want to wish everyone a good night.
Oh, good night, everybody. Good night, Alicia, Andrea, who's still in here. Hey, Haji. A special good night to Andrea Jones. A special good night. A special good night. Thank you. 9.5. Chef's kiss. Love it. You don't get a good night, Georgia Mud. You don't get a good night, Sean. You don't get a good night, JC. Hey, Haji can get like a half good night because a 7's high. It's above the average. So good night, everybody. And I'll make a video for tomorrow. And I guess I'll change the title of this to Making the Stallion something. So
good night.